I think I got bit by a mosquito this morning. Oh my God, why? Ugh. I'm Nicole, and this is Gen Xting, my honest journey to answer what's next when life feels ready for more, and to remind Gen Xers that we are not done dreaming. Hey guys, I have a full day of appointments today for work, and so I figured I would just take you guys along for the ride. I am here today. Like I said, I'm here all day, and it's just me today. I do share my office with another professional, but she's not here today, so just me and my husband, Patrick, and my daughter, Lillian, are both at home today. And so they are enjoying a day off while I'm here, which is fine. I'm not bitter at all. And we're just getting some stuff done, getting ready for my first appointment of the day. And yeah, that's about it. I thought that it would be fun to take you guys along with a little bit of, I think I'm going to call these walkie-talkies, because isn't that what this is, right? I'm walking and I'm talking. Walkie-talkie sounds good to me. I'm just making up all kinds of things. I'm sure I didn't actually make that up, but sometimes if it's the first time that I'm hearing it, to me, I've made it up, even though I know that's not the case. But anyways, so we're going to have some walkie-talkies today, and I asked some friends in Patrick to put together for me a list of questions that they thought would be good for me to answer in my vlogs. So I think in addition to today being a walkie-talkie day, I'll answer some questions for everybody. We'll see. So I am a massage therapist. I realized in my previous vlog I hadn't mentioned that. Maybe kind of purposeful at first, because I wasn't sure where I was going in terms of like how I was gonna communicate with people about what I do and all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, you can see we're not morning people in our family, and I'm tired today. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with having to go to work, I guess. But anyways, I'm here and I do love what I do. And so what I'm doing now is we're just checking all of the offices here, making sure that everything is looking good for my client, and ready to go for my first appointment of the day. Everything's looking good. I do think I have a few minutes. I think I want to try to vacuum real quick, because I can't remember if I did that before I left here yesterday, but I'm thinking about doing it real quick today. So I guess I'm going to set this up and you guys can watch me vacuum. Okay, I'm back. So as I was saying, I am a massage therapist. I have kind of a funny story about how I became one, but I will just tell you for now that I started my practice in 2018, just filing my nails, getting ready for my appointment. Started my practice in 2018 at 40. I think I mentioned before that 40 was the year for me when I decided that life was too short to be doing something that I didn't love, I guess. I mean, we don't have to love our jobs, I guess. I don't, I'm not trying to say all that mess, but, maybe life's too short to be doing something we hate. How about that, right? So, there I am. So I opened my practice. I had been licensed already for gosh, at that point, like 10 years or so, but had never done anything in massage, had never worked in massage before. I was working in foster care originally. I have a degree in psychology. Let me just go all the way back. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and when we moved to our town after we got married, my husband Patrick went to grad school to get his master's degree. We are in Tallahassee, so he went to Florida State University, become a Seminole, and get his master's degree, and I got a job. The idea was that I would work while he went to school, and then we would trade. So I got a job in foster care, and I started out back in the day when you were able to do like really kind of clinical work. Just with a bachelor's degree, as long as you had clinical supervision, under a licensed person. So I got to do some really, really cool things in the foster care program. I got to work with kids, all that kind of stuff. I made my way up through the agency pretty quickly, and within a short period of time, I had moved into a position as a mental health targeted case manager for children. And so really what had happened was I went from doing like it was called ITOS, Intensive Therapeutic On-Site Services, where I would go see kids in the community and in their homes who were at risk, I guess, in their communities. And I moved into targeted children's mental health, and that was really cool. I got to start. I was the person who kind of was able to be the first person to start that program at my job, and then after that, I did that for a little while, and then we're at the time now. I got to start watching for to see if my client pulls up. So I'm going to unlock my door and get ready for her. Let's see. Oh, she is here. Well, I guess we'll have to just finish this later. Bye. Finish with my first appointment of the day. I'm going to sit for a minute, sip some coffee. Today's Joffrey's Little Mermaid flavor, but I forget what the flavor's called, but it's like Little Mermaid something. Anyways. So I think I left off where I was doing targeted mental health case management, my agency. Then not long after that, I forget, maybe I did it for a year. I was able to move into a position licensing foster homes, which was probably my favorite of the positions that I had at that agency. So I licensed foster homes. And keep in mind, during all this time, my husband gets his master's degree and graduates. Then, oh, I have a call. Okay, I had gotten a phone call. Anyways, so now, in the meantime, I just cleaned up and got my table ready for my next client. And my door is unlocked, and I'm gonna have string cheese, quick snack with my coffee, and wait for her to get here. So anyways, as I was mentioning, my husband was finished up his master's degree. I was working full time, and our agreement was he finished school, then I'd go back to school. So I was in the process of applying for the sociology program at FSU, and had I think I had gotten far enough along the process that I was getting references from my professors and things like that. And something occurred to me. I literally woke up in the middle of the night and decided that I wanted to be a massage therapist. Interestingly enough, at that point in time, I had never received a massage before, but there was just something about that life. My husband was on track. He wanted to become a professor, and So at this point I was 20, maybe 23 years old, 24. And I just thought that would be the life. That was the life I wanted. And I just was able to envision myself helping people in that kind of way. And I don't know. So my husband, Patrick, was like, let's do it. Let's find the best massage program in the region in the Southeast. And remember, we were Tallahassee. And so I did. This is back before Google and all that stuff. And so, I did the best research that I could. Come to find out that one of the best schools in the Southeast was right in Tallahassee, the Core Institute. So I applied to the Core Institute. And interestingly enough, I must not have been the only one who hadn't received a massage before applying, because that was actually part of their criteria, is that you had to make sure you had received a massage before you went to school. And so I had my first massage and applied to the school and went through the program. I worked full-time in children's mental health. Like I said, I was licensing foster homes, and while at the same time in school at night. So work during the day, school at night. Did that for about a year. And the week that I graduated from massage school, the agency I worked for got a really big contract, and I was put in charge of the foster home licensing program. And so I was maybe 25 at this point, had a few staff under me. I was a supervisor. It came with a big pay raise. And I didn't pursue massage. So, I put that aside, even though I had graduated. I graduated, passed my licensure test, but didn't pursue it. And so I went on to do foster care for a little longer. And around 29 years old or so, I switched jobs. Stress was leading us to having some fertility problems. I had a miscarriage and having trouble getting pregnant, and decided to switch jobs. So instead of going into massage, because whatever, I went ahead and I moved into another social services kind of position, and I became a social services director of a nursing home. I did that, and I did it long enough to get benefits, because I think I had to be in the job for a full year before I actually got insurance. And did that for a year, got my insurance, and got pregnant almost right away. And I stayed with that job until we had Lillian, and Lillian was born. And then when I was on Family Medical Leave Act, and when the time came for me to go back to work, she was teeny tiny still, and she wasn't even 10 pounds at that point. And just the idea of going back to work and putting her in daycare just didn't sit right with us. Also, during this time period when I was pregnant with Lily, I remember talking to a friend about how I would love to be a stay-at-home mom, but just financially that wasn't in the cards for us. And I remember her saying to me, if you really want it badly enough, you can figure it out. You'll figure it out. You can do it. And I just kind of tucked that away in the back of my head. And I didn't really do anything with that. I just assumed that wasn't actually going to be a thing that we could do. Well, when it came time for me to go back to work after Lily was born, we started doing the numbers. And then we realized that between gas, daycare, et cetera, that we weren't really going to be coming out ahead very much if I went back to work. So we took a huge risk, and I didn't go back to work after she was born. And keeping in mind at the time, my husband and I were making almost the same amount of money. I was making a touch more than him, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 a year more. So essentially, our income got cut in half overnight. But I'll tell you, we made it work. So we did that for a few years. So I was a stay-at-home mom up until my daughter was 4. And when she turned 4, I wanted a job that was flexible enough. She was going to be going to preschool, but I also wanted to be able to have her come with me, to my job. And it just so happened that there was a job that became open that fit perfectly with all of that. And so I became a part-time assistant at a church. And so I did that and did that for a few years. It was kind of, at the time, I worked for someone who I got along with really well. And so that was really good. And during that time, my daughter started kindergarten and then first grade. And I worked at the church and everything was going great. And then the person who I was working with decided she quit her job to be a stay-at-home parent who homeschooled her kids. And so she went off and did that. And I started working for someone else who was, at this point, I was 35 and he was like 25. It was a good experience to be able to kind of be around that youthful energy again. I have someone who is my supervisor be, younger than me. But I was starting to feel restless. I was finding that the job I had was pretty easy and I wasn't, using my skills, my brain, whatever. I just was ready to get back into something more. At this point, our daughter is older and she's in school during the day for the most part. And so I had looked into getting an advanced certification in craniosacral therapy, which is a form of massage therapy at the Upleisure Institute. And so I was interested in doing that to get my certification before finally maybe opening my practice. At this point, I still hadn't. And right about that time, I was approached by my daughter's school asking if I would consider applying to be their new director because their director was going to be leaving. And not something I had ever considered before. At the time, I think, I had supervised, I was chaperoned a few field trips and things like that. And I think they saw how I interacted with kids, remembering that, I do have a background working with kids in foster care and whatnot. And I don't know, I believe in that kind of stuff, like fate kind of stuff. And I sort of felt like there was a reason why I was being asked to do it. And so I went ahead and applied and got the job. And thinking about that job that was the most stressful job I've ever had. Harder than working in foster care. Anyways, started to have some health problems due to stress about a year and a half in. And it just wasn't the job for me. So I put in my notice. I said in an earlier video that I just up and quit my job at 40. It wasn't, I gave almost a year's notice. So I wasn't going to leave the school high and dry. They were well aware that I was leaving. And so we had a long transition through that time while we brought on another director to take over. It was a small private school. And so we went through that whole transition. And at that point, I figured it was finally time to open my massage practice. And so I had opportunity to maybe go, work at a Massage Envy or a chain or another office that was already established, or just go all in and do it myself. So I just decided, let's just do it. So I reached out to someone I went to massage school with to see if he had space available, if he wanted to share a room, because I knew he was working part-time doing massage. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So he and I went in together and we shared a room at the time. And so we split the rent, shared a room. It was working out great. We did that for a hot minute. That was starting in 2018. And then COVID hit. And we were not able to work by governor's order. Everything was closed, as the way COVID went. And so when it came time for us to be able to go back to work, my office mate, he was not yet ready to come back to work. And so I had the office by myself for a hot minute. And then he decided that he wasn't going to come back at all. And so my rent kind of doubled overnight, which was something that I had to prepare for, that I was not prepared for. But also, while my rent doubled overnight, my availability doubled overnight. And so I rearranged my schedule a bit in terms of how I saw clients and things like that. And I got super busy, and I kind of like my career kind of like got crazy in a good way. And I do specialized massage therapy work. I focus with people who are in chronic pain, special kind of stuff. And it got really busy. So one of the downsides of me being at the other office that I was in, where I was sharing a room, was that we also shared an office suite with other professionals. And so my daughter, who, when I quit my job at the school, we also decided to pull her and homeschool as well. And so she was, with me, and she wasn't able to come with me to that other office. There just wasn't space for it. It wasn't set up to be able to bring a family, my child with me. And I really wanted that. And so once again, just kind of stepping out and believing it's true. I'm a big believer in mindset and all of the stuff that goes with that. And, you attract what you believe and what you think and all that stuff. And I just knew I was going to find a space, and I did. And I found an office that had its own, couple of treatment rooms, and it had space for my daughter to come hang with me during the day while she did school. And I was able to show her how to kind of run a business, lots of educational opportunities. And that's what I've done. So I've been in this space now, since about 2021. And I rent out a room to another professional who's here, and she's great. I lucked out with that whole situation. And yeah, so that is how I got to where I am. And now, so I see clients hands-on, usually 4 days a week. Back about 6 months ago, though, I've been trying to pare it down just a bit and maybe see if I can work my schedule to be see people 3 days a week. We'll see. My goal is to, this is the longest that I have been in one steady career position pretty much since I've been an adult. Between foster care and then moving in the different positions and then agency and then staying home and the church and the school. And so at this point I am 8 years in to owning a massage practice. And I work by myself, and the whole business is mine, and I create my own schedule. I do all this stuff. But I'm not someone who is defined by what I do. I find happiness in what I do. I connect with clients all day long, and we get along really well, and we have a really good vibe around here. But it doesn't bring me the fulfillment that work and jobs bring for a lot of other people. And, that's part of why I've been itching for something else, not necessarily a change out of massage, but something different in the bigger picture. So anyways, that's how I got to where I am. I am still here in this office space, and I have some other things that are in store business-wise and work-wise. I have started a cute little retail space in the front of my lobby area, which gives me a little bit of joy, being able to, sell some things. And it doesn't really bring me a lot of extra income. I don't work in where my office is at is not in a retail heavy area. So really the only people who shop here are my clients, which I love them all. So that works out really nicely. And I get along great with everyone, and I love being self-employed. I can't imagine ever working for someone else again. I hope that I'm able to have the self-employed life forever. And so anyways, okay, that's how I got to where I'm at today, sitting in this office waiting on my client who should be here any minute. And if I think of anything else to add, I will. Okay, I guess I'm gonna film a few minutes in between until my client gets here. Stray hair. Anyways, I don't really eat during my workday, but I will have just like little snacks. I eat. I don't eat a full meal is what I should say, like not a lunch. So earlier today, I had a string cheese. And today, now I'm having a little block, rectangle of 70% dark chocolate. And I actually found these in the drawer. They're expired, but they still taste fine. They're spicy peanuts. So, anyways, the sweet and savory combination works for me. So I'm just munching on these, and I already know my client coming does not have a peanut allergy. So I tend to be very mindful of that, and I know I don't have to worry about that. So anyways, let's see, my coffee's still probably hot, but it smells good though. Anyways, so I see anywhere between one client all the way up to 5 or 6 in a day. I average between 3 and 4. I'm not someone who particularly is interested in packing my schedule. I enjoy having a medium busy day. 4 is just fine for me in a day. Some therapists will regularly do, 5, 6, 7 a day. I think that if financially we needed to, I would, but we're at a place where I can manage my own schedule a bit, and I do appreciate that very much so, and I do enjoy it. So that is great. I don't know. This is my day. So I have 4 today. So I'm getting ready for my 3rd client to come here in the next couple of minutes. I'm sitting here in my reception area, and I'm able to see out the window. So I'm able to most of the time see when people pull up, if they pull in front of our main window, and they'll come in the front door either way. So anyways, I'm just hanging out, waiting for my next appointment, thinking about just other things and what the future has in store, and I don't know. So anyways, I'm pretty sure that all of the video that I have recorded up until now, my camera has been turned the other way. So we're just rolling with it. And I don't know how it's going to work when I edit it, and half of it might be wonky, and then there's going to be one piece that's okay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Unless I decide to refilm things, but I don't know. That's not what we do around here, right? I already told you, this is an honest journey, and that also includes having my film sideways half the time. So anyways, I don't know. All right. Bye. So 2 appointments down. Ready to, my room is ready for my next one, which should be here in about 15 minutes. That is just enough time for me to make a cup of coffee. I do not have a coffee maker here at my office anymore. I used to, but it pooped out. So anyways, so what I do is I keep it real classy. and I use instant coffee. And I put, oh, this is a brand new container actually. I forgot I just bought this. Here we go. Oh yeah, oh no, I opened it already once. And I'm putting some coffee. And then I make it real fancy with some cinnamon. Kind of makes the flavor a little more tolerable, to be honest with you. And I kind of like the flavor, actually. It's not so bad. So, decent amount of cinnamon. Then I have my hot water kettle that I love. So we're going to fill that up. Get us some coffee. And I'm making it now because hopefully I'll get to sip on it a little bit before my next appointment comes. But it very well may be too hot by then. And so if that's the case, then I'll just have to wait and have some of it after this appointment coming up. But I like to have it ready to go so then that way it cools down enough so I can drink it. If I were to try to drink it actually in between appointments, I don't have enough time really, most of the time. So I'm grabbing some half and half or heavy cream. Today I have heavy cream because, I don't know, I want to treat myself a little bit. And it is my substitute for sugar is to put some heavy cream. So I do like to do that. Let's see what it's looking like. So I don't put sugar in my coffee anymore. I used to like my coffee really light and sweet is the way I used to drink it, but it's been several years now since I've put sugar in my coffee. I just put, like I said, either half and half or heavy cream if I'm, wanting something a little creamier. Perfect. And that is it. So I'm going to leave the lid off of it for now for a few minutes so it can try to cool down a little bit, but then I'll add the lid to it before I go into my appointment. And like I said, hopefully it will cool down enough that I can sip on it just a little bit before my appointment comes. Unplugging my kettle, putting that away, putting my cream away for next time. And I have about 8 minutes before my next appointment is supposed to be here, maybe like 10. And, it's just my chance to sit for a minute. And that's about it.